Well, we've got something new called the Wrist Details. And of course, for this wonderful little thing that we're doing, we had the most elegant person in the Wrist Details saga with me today, Mohammed Azmuddin. We have some fun questions for you. So
Sure.
let me start. The first time you picked up the bat and there was an instant connection, woke up.
Well, I think when I was very young, I think maybe 6 years or 7 years, because my uncle also used to play, when I grade of cricket, he played till junior state and all those things. So that's when I just picked up the bat. So जब भी से मेरे को थोड़ा सा इंटरेस्ट लगा, तो देन मेरा अंकल भी, उनको लगा था कि इन्हें इंटरेस्ट थोड़ा, लड़के को इंटरेस्ट है, तो उन्होंने जो बेसिक जो मुझे सिखाया, वो मेरे अंकल सिखाया। जो मेरे को बैट पकड़ना, बैट कैसे, स्टांस कैसे लेना, फॉरवर्ड डिफेंस, बैकफुट डिफेंस, वो उन्होंने ये जो बेसिक जो होता है क्रिकेट में, वो मेरे अंकल ने सिखाया।
That's so sweet. Your special connect with Kolkata and the magic of Eden.
I don't know, because see, every player has some connection with some ground. Like for example, there are some players who, I mean, like for example, the lot of players like for Graham Booth has got good connection with Lords. I think he scored about 4 or 5 or 600 at Lords. So I think that is one of the reasons.
Wow.
Calcutta was always like when I played my first game for South Zone School. That was in 1977 or 78. I think that's when I played my first match in Calcutta. So on that match, I scored 51. So maybe that connect started from there only. When you're playing at Calcutta, you know that you have done well over a period of time. There are 2-3 times, my career has been saved by that ground. So I'm very
Yeah.
happy. Calcutta has always been
Well,
my, favorite ground. It will always be, because that's the ground I first played my first Test match. So I will always remember that ground. I think the love and affection I got from the people of Calcutta, like it's, I have no words to describe.
okay, talking about that first match, those first three tests, how magical were they for you personally? Although the teams lost 2-1, but I'm sure it was a magical experience.
That's right. Yeah, we lost the series 2-1, but I think on personal count, I think it was like I didn't know what was happening. It was looking like, it was like I felt that there is some fairy tale is happening. Whenever I went in, things, everything used to fall in place. By the time I realized I was batting 40 or 50, and so like it's a totally different thing to me. I always felt that there was some divine intervention was also, I think, was there, because to score 300 and to play my test match, first test match, and go on to score 300, and it was
Mm.
very, I didn't know what was happening, because I think I was very happy also, but at the same time also a little bit sad, because I was brought up by my grandfather since I was 40 days old, because my mother and father gave me, my grandfather asked them, can I bring this child up? So I was the eldest child, first child. They gave it to my grandfather, and then he passed away. I think exactly 1.5 months before I made my debut. And then the amount of, love and care and attention he gave, it was outstanding. Then my father and mother has always been there, there without their prayers, without their encouragement. I would not be sitting and talking now. So I think I got all the support from them. But that time, I was slightly, very sad as well, because I wish my grandfather would have seen, I mean, uh, me play,
Absolutely.
that was my wish, But I think I lost my grandfather when I was playing the most important game of my career. I was batting. I think I was playing against England in Ahmedabad, playing for under 25 India under 25. So in that game, I scored 151. So that game only got
Wow.
me into the side. First two games I was 12th man, but then I got a chance in that third test match. And then after that, as I've said before,
The
explained,
rest is
I didn't know what was happening, actually, to be very honest.
it is well, thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you. The classiest player apart from you. Rate these players out of 10 based on class and elegance. And a quick reason behind your rating. So VVS Lakshman.
Well, Lakshman is an outstanding player. He's won so many matches for India single-handedly. But he's an outstanding player. He's a difficult player to bowl. Because I think he was a busy player. Because there are some players. When you cannot really, walk them down. They're always there. They're always playing the stroke. They're very free-flowing players. He was outstanding player.
Absolutely. Hashim Amla.
Hashim Amla, he struggled in the beginning, but I think whatever talent he had, he realized that talent, later on, maybe after 4 or 5 test matches or something. But the great thing was with Hashim Amla was his consistency and his, appetite to score big runs. Like even he didn't only score only just 100, but it was like 150, 200, 300 also. So I think
Absolutely.
great.
Brian Lara.
Ryan Lara is a very, a good player, the best left-hander. I have seen that, although my favorite player is David Gower, but I think Brian Lara, an outstanding player, very free-flowing player, and very positive player. That's why if you see, he's the only one who's scored 400 runs in a test match. So it's a very special player.
Yeah. And wait, I want you to say who you think is also very classy and
my
elegant.
favorite player you missed. One player, who's the best one I've ever. I was not happy. I would have definitely wanted him to play with me. When I was making my debut, was Mr. G.R. Vishwanath. He's one of the best players.
Oh.
You cannot, come near him because there are so many comparisons are made about me, him, and so many players. But I think to me, he was the number one player. And then, especially in the game which we had, him and Zahir Abbas, two players, there's no comparison.
Wow. Okay, that should have made our list. Babar Azam.
Babar Azam is just beginning. He's got a good career ahead. But he's a very positive player, and hopefully, I thought that with captaincy, with the burden of captaincy, he might find it very hard. But I think he's taken it well. So I think he's a player of the future.
Okay, Rohit Sharma.
Rohit Sharma is outstanding, great player. He's done so much for the country, and he's the one person. He's got 400 or 500 in the World Cup. I think nobody has done it. I think Sangakkara and these other two players. I like players who are positive. I like players who attack. I like players who play, take the bowling. Attack the opposition. I don't like players, who defend too much, because that is my personal take. With due respect to all the players, but I think, he's a very positive player. I like players, who look for runs, They don't get bogged down, because they dictate terms to the bowler. That's what I like among, batsmen. The same thing with the bowlers as well. I like bowlers who really, try to get the batsman out.
And last but not least, the player who's always looking for runs, Virat Kohli.
Virat Kohli is modern day great. I think he's achieved so much in his life. I always feel that, whenever Rohit Kohli went into bat, people expect him to score 100. I think that's not going to happen all the time. But I think we must learn to accept that even if he gets out at 78, also he's done well. It's played well. It's not only the 100. It always counts.
Absolutely.
70s and 80s also, we should count that also, because we have very high expectation of him. Whenever we want him to score 100, it's not possible.
Absolutely. I think people need to ease the pressure. Last question. Has the role of a captain in modern day evolved as a result of so much of analysis and technology? Because like you just said,
captain, yes, definitely the pressure is always there on the captain, because if you don't do well, everything comes down to the captain, because this is the thing which is happening right from when cricket was started. When you don't do well, the captain is always in the center. But I think the captain needs to take the responsibility, and then be frank. Whatever has happened will happen. Like if you have not played well, it's not played well. As simple as that. If you played well, you played well. There's nothing wrong. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But at the end of the day, cricket is a great leveler. It levels.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for this. We're going to do some more wrist details with you again. Thank you so much for the viewers for joining us. And thank you, Azam sir. Thank you.